Okay, thanks so much, Tone, for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Looking forward to a little chat about carnivore. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely love it. So just a backstory. I've been watching your content now for a couple of years, and I just want to say thank you for everything, for the raw honesty and just everything that you've done. I really, really appreciate it a lot. I mean, yeah, glad you got the coffee there. So just a very more of a tactical one. This is going to be about Carnivore and your experiences with it. So I just want to know how you started Carnivore. Is there, how does it link into you being a trader or crypto? Any insights you have there? I would love to maybe hear your thoughts.
So they're not that related, but they're a little bit related. So it's very interesting how now it's not always the case, but people that tend to think outside the box are the people that discovered Bitcoin earlier. Now, not everyone. A lot of people got into Bitcoin by accident. A lot of people got into the crypto space for the money. But many people got into Bitcoin for the philosophy. They saw that Bitcoin is different. It's not infinite money printing. For me, it was the unconfiscatability property of Bitcoin. It's the only thing we have ever owned that can't be taken away from us. And it's this, a little bit of outside the box thinking. And it applies to many other things. It's also, I'm not saying that everything that comes out of, the mouth of the government is a lie and you have to do the opposite. That's not true. But some of the other things, you got to question them because you have to follow the money. And a lot of it has to do with money. So people that are more receptive to something like Bitcoin, where you can have money that is politically neutral. You can have money around the world that no government controls or tells you what to do. That same person is more open-minded to, think concepts like global warming, concepts like nutrition. And where's the money? Where's the incentive? And these things don't really make sense. Right now, we're dealing with this pandemic. And Bill Gates is the one that's front and center about, I have the vaccine, I'm gonna save everyone. Don't go outside, hide in your basement until I make a vaccine. Where prior to 2 years ago, everything Bill Gates has ever done since Microsoft was to lower the human population. So, because he thinks that the world is overcrowded, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like, why are we listening to a guy that thinks the world's overcrowded that's going to save everyone with the vaccine? Like, something there doesn't make sense. Yes. Now, if I flip it over to global warming, again, same concept. It's, I'm a geologist. That was my original degree. And there's plenty of evidence that the planet has been a hell of a lot hotter and a hell of a lot colder before we came along. And not even that long before we came. We're not talking millions of years ago. We're talking like, within the last 20,000 years of this planet, it's been a hell of a lot warmer and a hell of a lot colder, right? Yeah. So telling me that humans are making such a giant difference is insane. Again, a little bit outside the box thinking. Are we bad for the environment? Yes. We're not good for the environment. We certainly cause pollution. LA in the 90s, China recently. I mean, you need that face mask, to walk around some of the cities in China. Yeah, so pollution is bad. It can hurt your health. But a giant volcano explodes and who cares about this carbon dioxide? The planet could warm up by a degree, right? It's yeah. So there's just bigger forces. So when you start thinking about it last year, and now it comes down to food, like all of the stuff that the government recommends for you to eat, that stupid pyramid, a lot of it is just not only really bad, it's completely backwards. Yeah. So, and it's the same people that think about these things rationally. They're always on the same side. It's the same people that question this global warming narrative. And this is why you see a lot of people that believe in socialism and they believe in being a vegan, and they believe in climate change, and they believe in, fiat money. And it's usually like the same person that believes in all of that versus someone like myself, who questions the, man are making global warming, and it's not mostly a natural phenomenon. Man caused pollution. God, I'm the opposite of a vegan diet. I don't like government control of money. And I hate socialism and communism. I don't mind a few social programs here and there, but this whole concept of the government needs to provide me a place to live because it's my right, and if this guy has a bigger house than me, that's a problem. That's the kind of view that I'm completely against. So now we can dive into the food side of it, and why a lot of the views that are being pushed onto society are basically related to money and that whole movement. They all tie together.
So I just want to dive into a bit of a more tactical question, like how carnivore has maybe improved your decision making or your energy levels. Because just to give the audience a bit of a background, I attended your risk management workshop, and thank you so much. That was awesome. I just had so much fun, and I learned so much watching you. So I just wanted you to maybe speak to how carnivore is, or meat-based, has influenced your decision making and energy levels, whatever you want to speak to there.
Oh yeah, it's really improved my health. I feel like it's the healthiest I've been in my life, and I'm in that 40-year vicinity now, and I feel great. It's really incredible. And like you said, I run those workshops 8 hours straight. We take a 45-minute lunch break. I don't even eat. It's mostly for other people, because it's hard to like sit through that. Now I'm talking the whole time. It's actually interesting whether I would be more tired if I was listening to someone talk for 8 hours, whether actually speaking for 8 hours. It does take a lot of energy out of you speaking, but also the adrenaline of speaking kind of keeps you going. So I started doing it for health reasons, and it's a little more than just a carnivore. So I'm also not a strict carnivore. I don't know. So what is your diet plan? Let's start there, Josh. How are you eating now, and when did you start eating that way?
That's interesting that you brought that up, because I've actually got a tweet here, which I screenshotted from you. You said, I'm not on the carnivore diet, but it is mostly meat-based. The carnivore dinners for me is a good way for people to get together and have a nice, healthy meal. So I love that. That's what you tweeted in January of 2019. But my diet, at the moment is probably, I would say maybe similar. I don't know what you actually on, but for me, it's basically carnivore for 6 days in the week. And then on Saturdays, I will have like a carb low day or something. Saturdays is like a social day, and I'll have a few drinks, have whatever, but it's mainly carnivore. It's almost like somebody trying to, shove altcoins and Bitcoin down your face all day long. I'm not like a strict carnivore, but I definitely do follow a majority of a carnivore diet. Let's just say meat-based. I like how you put it there.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a cheat day.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have a cheat day, but so I'm gonna do a quick screen share right now. So I wrote an article about my diet, and this is basically like my food pyramid. And I rank food. So green is so the stuff in green is 90% of all the food that I eat.
Okay.
And the lower you go, basically I don't eat it at all. So as far as like carbs, so all the way at the bottom is bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, quinoa, beans. I don't touch that at all.
Yes.
When it comes to like mushrooms and vegetables, if a little happen to sneak in, it's okay, but I try to go out of my way to completely avoid it. These are like my cheats. So I cheat on my carnivore diet with the orange area.
Nice.
So these are my actual cheats. Now, as far as vegetables go, the only one that I constantly eat is garlic. Garlic and a little bit of ginger. Everything else I managed to completely remove from my diet. So I just find those to be, so for me, everything is a sliding scale. So it has to do with taste as well. Now, a lot of people try to convince you how tasty bread is. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Tom, pasta, this pasta is incredible. I'm like, really? Pasta has no taste. What gives pasta
Exactly.
taste is the sauce you put on top of it.
Exactly. I was just about to say that if you were to eat that without any sauce, you'd be eating this like this blobby like
Right, right.
grass, basically.
So, um, so I am trying to cut back. I'm trying to eat a little less cheese, but it's difficult.
That's
I
my
try to
downfall. Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely
try to
cheese.
eat my berries and fruit very selectively. And dark chocolate, when I'm out, or a family dinner, and then there's
Mm,
tea at the end of the dinner, and then there's dessert, and I'm like, you know what? Just give me some dark chocolate. I'm
yes.
gonna stay away from the cake. But then you have something like cheesecake, which technically is gluten-free, just has a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really a sliding scale. There are two. So the whole bread thing, there are two breads that I don't eat them often, but when I'm in those countries, I'm eating them. Um, or if I'm in a really nice Indian restaurant, I'll probably cheat and eat some but it's like rare. It's not like I go out of my way to cheat once a day.
Mm,
It's like, hey, if I happen to be at an Indian restaurant, and a good one, like once a month, once every 2 months. I haven't done this in like 5 months because we're in quarantine. But like I'll make that exception because it's just unreasonably tasty. And the only other bread is, if most people aren't familiar with it, is Georgian khachapuri. So if you're ever at a Georgian restaurant, order the Algerian khachapuri. It's like a bread basket
yeah.
full of melted cheese, a stick of butter, and then you dump an egg into the boiling cheese, so the egg is still kind of raw.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
like, everything inside the bread is healthy as hell, but that bread absorbs all of that stuff. So that's the, like, Google it, we
Wow.
can Google it. It's called Georgian, the country Georgia, Georgian Algerian, ADJ ARIAN, khachapuri. So I don't have a cheat day, but there are certain foods that I absolutely love. And until I
Yes.
manage to completely keep them out, I'll cheat with those foods every now and then. Like garlic, I like garlic too much. I'm never gonna give that up.
Mm,
Ginger, okay. I used to like onions, but I've managed to, get rid of those out of my diet. So it's a slow process.
mm,
As far as like fruits go, okay. So this is the pyramid of what I eat. But now it comes down to a couple of things. So my diet is based on nutritional density. This is why you have liver number one, egg yolks number two. Now avocados are up there. Avocados are actually really nutritious.
mm.
So that is my big exception to the carnivore diet. That's the only thing that isn't from an animal that's in my green zone.
Mm. I like that.
Other than that, it's fish, shellfish, and meat, uh, red meat. I don't eat chicken very often, but chicken liver is incredibly healthy. That's one of the great things about South Africa, man. You guys
Mm.
have chicken liver in any restaurant. Almost any good restaurant will have chicken liver on the menu, which was awesome because every time I ate out in South Africa, I would always order the chicken liver.
Awesome.
So liver is hands down the healthiest thing you can eat, like nutrition per gram. So the reason why this is structured this way is because I didn't do like crazy amount of research, but I've done enough
Mm.
for me to rank food based on how much nutrition I'm getting per a gram of that food,
Oh, I love
or
that.
per 100 grams. And so this is based on nutritional density. Now, the knock on avocados, and the same thing with the vegetables. When people are like, well, vegetables have so much good stuff. And the answer is yes, but vegetables also have some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And some vegetables have a lot of bad stuff. So if you're going to take in a bunch of good, but it also comes with a bunch of bad, is it worth it? Because when I eat liver, when I eat egg yolks, when I eat oysters, I'm getting a lot of good and absolutely no bad, unless I'm allergic. Okay.
Yes.
So avocado is the only thing in the green list that has, a little bit of bad with a lot of good, but I'm willing to make that trade-off. But the trade-off isn't like how much good is in the food. It's how much bad is in the food. And if that bad starts to tick up, it doesn't matter how much good it gives you, because it also gives you some of the bad stuff.
Risk management, right there.
Right. So other than that, if I'm not eating, so also for me, the more liquid the food is, the more receptive I am. So I actually stopped eating nuts and seeds, not like I did a year ago, not even when I published this article in the beginning of the year, but now I'm able to find this like mixed nut butter. Peanuts are not nuts, by the way. Peanuts are beans. So they're in the red. So that's the difference. So it's really frustrating in the world of nutrition, where peanuts have the word nuts in it. They are not nuts.
Yeah.
And then things like fat doesn't actually make you fat, but it's called fat because like when a person is fat and then you have something in nutrition that's called fat, you kind of associate, well, if I eat fat, I get fat, but that's not true at all. Like fat doesn't actually make you fat. So these are like the frustrations that you have to deal with. And again, I don't want to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, but like, why on earth would you like have that kind of notation? Like, why would you name something a nut that is not a nut? And then like corn is a grain, not a vegetable. So, but at least it doesn't have the word vegetable in the name corn. But anyway, so I'm more receptive to like liquids over solids. So instead of eating and chewing nuts, I've resorted to like a butter, like peanut butter, but not from peanuts. So almonds, Brazils, cashews. So all of these are like liquefied in a butter. And that's a lot less stress on your digestive system when you're eating it in more liquid form. Same thing with some of the vegetables. So I like to eat, like fruit is mostly liquid anyway. But if I had to eat a carrot, I'd rather drink carrot juice so that I'm not processing that fiber of the carrot.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it. I don't want like the, when you eat vegetables, you intake a lot of food that your body can't digest and can't process. That's why you have to go and sit on the toilet all the time. And that's the confusion. When you eat, and avocados have that as well. But if you drop avocados from this list and all you're eating is meat and fish, you're not going to be on the toilet very often because there's nothing to get rid of your body. Because when you eat a steak, everything in that steak will get absorbed by your body for food and energy. Yeah. When you eat egg yolks, they'll get absorbed. Well, they're liquid anyway. If you don't cook them, I don't like cooking my egg yolks. I like them as raw as possible. Same thing with fish. If your diet is mostly consists of fish, it's going to get processed by your body. So you don't have waste to get rid of. And a lot of people confuse that was like, wow, I'm on a carnivore diet. I haven't sat on a toilet in 5 days. Well, yeah, your body doesn't have shit it needs to get rid of. Because it's actually using what you're eating and it's fully digesting it. And that's the misconception. So a lot of people think that meat is rotting in your stomach. No, it's the vegetables that are rotting in your stomach, not the meat. So, it's just a lot of this misconception. So I don't want to go on. I wanted to ask more questions, but I just want to point out that, so my diet consists of these three things. I try to eat food in order of its nutritional density to maximize the amount of vitamins I intake for the least amount of food. Now, that doesn't mean I eat little food. That means if I eat a lot of food, I'm going to eat 3 times more vitamins and minerals than the average person that has a balanced diet.
Yes.
Like to me, I don't care about a balanced diet. I want to eat as much as I can and have the most vitamins and minerals. And my mentality is, I don't know when my next meal is going to be. Now that I'm in quarantine and I have my fridge, I'm cheating on my own diets a little bit because my diet is also involves intermittent fasting. I love eating once a day, which is a lot easier to do when you travel. And I travel often. But now that I'm in quarantine and I have my own fridge, it's hard to eat once a day. It's actually a bit of a challenge. I have to like stay focused on work to keep myself out of the fridge. Also, my fridge is full of a lot of healthy food because I only shop and I fill it with healthy food. So when I cheat on my one meal a day, at least I know I'm cheating with healthy food. So you want your digestive system to rest. Again, guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist yet. I want to go back to school for that. But there are books on all of this. You can read The Ultimate Guide to Fasting. So I'm a big fan of that. I eat once a day. Sometimes I skip a day. I've skipped 2 days, and that's fine. But when I go for that meal, and this is the mistake people make, Tone, I want to take you out to dinner. And I'm like, just so you know, I'm going to eat for 2 or 3 people. Like,
Love that.
And then I get to the restaurant and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take that 900-gram tomahawk steak. You know?
Thank you. Yes.
I like to eat based on nutritional density. I do drink alcohol. I know I need to quit, but it's liquid. And like I said, I have a high tolerance for liquids over solids. That's kind of the gist of it. And of course, I try to buy the cleanest food possible. I always go to the farmers markets. I want fresh fish. I don't like farmed fish. I want grass-fed beef. So I'm really into clean organic food based on nutritional density with intermittent fasting daily. I went through like a week of what I eat. Say again?
Is that article on your website? I actually couldn't find it.
So
it's on your blog.
Right, tonevays.com/blog is the last article I wrote.
Okay.
So it's the first one that will show up. But other than that, it's called Tone's Nutrition Plan for 2019. So here's just, me eating sushi at home, and I buy my own oysters at the farmer's market. They're about $1 each.
Nice.
And they're incredibly healthy. I know $1 is a lot. When I was in South Africa, man, you guys have like some oyster places, and they're like equivalent of like 25 or 50 US cents per oyster. So I was going to town.
Nice.
So again, this is me eating fish. So here, this is, I don't eat nuts as often now, like I said, but you cook a couple of pieces of salmon, a couple of egg yolks. I throw the egg whites in the garbage. I don't eat egg whites because egg whites have almost no nutrition. They have no vitamins. They have no minerals. All they have is protein. It's high quality protein, but salmon is also high quality protein with a lot of vitamins and minerals. So why am I going to fill up on empty protein with egg whites if I could eat a little extra salmon for the extra vitamin and mineral intake? So it's like little things like that I try to explain in this article. Yeah, this is one of my steaks. Ordering one of these tomahawk steaks, a lot more expensive in the US than in lots of other countries where meat is a lot cheaper, which is great. It's mostly sushi and meat. Like here is a meal. It's actually a burger where avocado was used instead of a bun. And then you have egg in the middle there. And then there is a bit thick layer of bacon. And then I don't touch the potatoes. I don't touch anything green. I had a little bit of the fruit that's here, but that's it. And if I'm still hungry, I'll just order another one. It does get a little bit expensive because this is, I had 2 of these because one day is just 2 eggs, avocado, side of thick bacon. And I was still hungry, so I ordered one more. But on the cost side of things, when you eat once a day, it's not as bad. Sure, I go out and I eat my one-a-day meal, and if I order, let's say, a $60 US steak, people are like, oh my God, you just spent $60, $70 on a steak. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the only thing I spent money on all day. It's the only thing I ate, right? Did you have your Starbucks coffee this morning? Did you go out for lunch? Did you eat breakfast? and then you ate dinner. Like add up your costs for the whole day, and mine are maybe 15% more because of the higher quality of that food. But it's not that much more when you have one big meal.
Yeah, and yeah, I want to be very cognizant of the time. I know we said half an hour, and thank you so much, Tone. So just finish off before I was going to wrap up a bit, but you answered everything that I was sort of going to go through. But I love that you enjoy quotes, and one of the quotes that you had on your website was, "You cannot teach a man anything; you can only help him find it within himself." Galileo Galilei, and I love that quote. Is there any other quotes that you live, you live your life by, or any other quotes that you think about often that my audience might, get value out of?
Yeah, no, that was a great quote, because a lot of what I do is I try to educate. And I started out as a high school teacher, but I really hated it because I was teaching people that didn't want to learn. And that's not my preferred teaching environment. Like some people thrive on that, getting someone to learn that doesn't want to. But for me, it's more about teaching someone that really wants to learn. And one of my favorite George Orwell quotes is from the book Animal Farm, where I don't know if you ever read that book.
No, I did. Long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So they started out with I think it was 10, like it was like 10 commandments, but like 10 like rules, and then they merged into 3, and then they eventually merged into 1, and that final one was all animals are equal, but some are more equal.
Well, Tone, I just want to say thank you so much, and thanks for all that you do. Keep being yourself, keep being authentic, and yeah, I just want to say thank you for the time, and until next time.
Yeah, no, thank you. And guys, look, give it a shot. Try to reduce your carbohydrate intake. And look, again, I don't want to give like diet and medical advice here, but eating more meat and less everything else has worked amazing for me, and it has worked amazingly for so many people. I don't take any vitamins. I don't supplement with any vitamins. I, don't take any medication. I feel great. It's absolutely, you feel superhuman. It's awesome.
Yeah.